Okay, here's a quick introduction to right triangle trigonometry. First, let me say trigonometry is actually really easy and really useful. This trigonometry is only going to work in right triangles. So this lower corner here is my right triangle. Measure of an angle is C. Side opposite it is side C. This is angle A, angle B. So the first thing I did is I just measured out 6 inches. I drew it on there, exactly 6 inches. And I used my angle square. I set it down here. This thing isn't really that accurate. I set it down here, and I looked down and I saw this was 20 degrees. So I have this angle right here is 20. This angle will be its complement, or 90 minus 20. This will be 70 degrees. I drew straight up off of that. This is 2.5 inches. Not that accurate, but pretty close. This right here is 6.5 inches. I could check that with the Pythagorean theorem, right? 2.5 squared plus 6 squared should equal 6.5 squared. And I could see that it does. Okay? And now that I'm trying to find ratios here, if I'm looking at the ratio of the opposite over the hypotenuse, I'm talking about that 20 degrees. So opposite 20 is 2.5. So I take 2.5, goes right there, divided by the hypotenuse 6.5. When I do 2.5 divided by 6.5, I get about 0.3. This next ratio right here is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So I measure the adjacent leg 6 over the hypotenuse 6.5. 6 over 6.5 is about 0.9. That's actually called the cosine. This third ratio right here is the opposite over the adjacent. So I take the opposite leg 2.5 over the adjacent 6. I divide those and I get about 0.35 or so. So my measurements aren't too accurate, but that's how you fill in this chart. Intro to trig, useful stuff.